How about me? I'm the matriarch who's going to die soon. It's an anti-star.
Yeah.
That people do not take my photo anymore.
Life in
I'm
the
too
shade,
old. I'm
in
gone.
the shadow.
I'm sure. You know, I'm a faded memory.
A fading memory, fading back.
Take them to the moon for me.
And you can take it to go to any college you want.
When I first went to Berea College, I was a very scared 15-year-old whose mother had just died, right? And I went to finish foundation school with absolutely nobody but me, right? My sister was in Chicago. My other sister felt that it was better for me to go to Berea than to be, you know, than anywhere else and be in the high school there. And she was really right. So I went there scared, lonely, crying, you know, not knowing where I was.
What'd you take with you?
Me.
You didn't have any clothes? You didn't have a suitcase? You
I
didn't...
had a suitcase. Reva had, my sister Reva had made me a couple of things, right? Clothes. And other than that, I had my feed sack dresses. Yeah, pretty bad. That I trotted off with. And, but Berea really cared for me. They educated me. They raised me, you know, during teenage years now. You know.
You were 16?
I was 15.
15.
15, right. And so, you know, you graduate from high school, you're 16 years old, you say, where am I going? Who's going to rent to me? Where am I going to earn money at 16, right?
Yeah.
So you say, oh,
So where you going? We're going to go get an award for my mom. But where are you going first? First we're going to go to my brother Jason's house. And we're going to pick him up and his daughter Rebecca. But only if I can drive this car.
It was really, you know, when looking back on it, it was really cool. It was how I survived those years, yeah, with Berea. And I came out of there not owing one penny to anybody. I didn't have any money, but
No.
But I mean, I didn't get me any money to say, here, you're on your way. Here's some extra help to help you. But
Did you bring her coffee?
But I had no, you know, I hadn't.
It's in the car?
Yeah.
I didn't know
no coffee in the car?
You know,
And you
I
had
spent 5 years there on their nickel.
And you had a diploma. What was a bachelor's degree?
A bachelor's degree
Of?
in English, bachelor's of arts.
Wow.
That's for sure.
Wow.
Let me see if I can get
Well, I won't make you tell me the whole story now, but we'll get some more later.
Yeah,
I want to hear more of this.
yeah. It was really cool. Berea's very precious to me.
If you could say something to that little girl you were.
It made me cry, but I would just say, you did okay. You know, you did okay.
And Louisa May is naked back there.
That's all right. That's a good part.
It's natural. That's normal.
It's been a great trip.
So is that the end of the
We need to
speech?
have that one section.
Also get Jason.
So let me read that again. Okay. And the Berea motto. And the Berea motto. We need that again?
Yeah, it's a bit hammering that.
Hammering it down. These gifts that one shared to make our world a great place.
Pull over. You can pull in front of her and go off or something.
You will take
Wow, look
with
at the cows. Said the girls.
you will take with you your beautiful mountain accent, but you will use it to speak proper English. She was a determined woman, and she wanted us to be accepted anywhere in this world, among any people, not looked upon as ignorant or as uneducated.
Here we are in Berea. You've traveled for a couple days, been through a whole day of ceremonies.
Whole day of ceremonies.
Children
Yes.
in the middle of it.
And it was at this point.
Yeah.
I decided it's the best time to put me on camera.
Yeah.
And talk to me.
Yes. Yeah.
After 2 days of traveling,
Yeah.
snow,
Harrowing. Snow.
sleet,
Yeah.
and rain.
And in the car,
Sitting for 3 hours of ceremonies.
right. And
Staying up late with my mother to help her
yeah,
prepare her.
rehearsing the speech till what time at night?
11:30 at night.
Uh-huh.
And then crawling into bed with my kids that turn over and kick me out of bed.
Well, go back a little bit. When she came to visit my mom's house in Chicago, she would always stay with me in my bedroom, and she was always so messy. She put her suitcase on the bed and clothes everywhere, and I used to say, "Mom, would you make Aunt Jeri pick up her clothes? She's making my room a mess." So when I came to Berea to college, she wanted to see if I would tell her to clean the room up. So I came in the room, and I think she was waiting for me to say, "Aunt Jeri, this is a mess." But I came in, and there was a brick wall in her room in here, and I was so fascinated with that, I didn't say anything about the mess.
That's really good.
Yeah, but Aunt Jeri's always been there for me all my life. Times when I was on drugs and didn't have contact with the rest of the family, and all of a sudden Aunt Jeri would call me, and it just made my day. She made me cry every time she caught up with me, and I've always loved her. She's just a special place in my heart.
And what's it like to be around your grandma?
I'm happy and joyous.
Does she get on your case?
Yeah, like one time I told her I have a crush and she's just like all over me. Who's your crush? Who's your crush? Who's your crush?
It will be a special pleasure to honor a lifetime of service by a Berea College alumna, Jeri Baker, when I present her with the Berea College Service Award at our upcoming service convocation this afternoon.
She is one of the most amazing people I've ever met in my life.
Grandma.
Huh?
AKA Grandma.
AKA Grandma, yes. She's one of the most amazing people that I've met in my life. And she enriches our lives in so many ways, especially the kids, Seamus and Josie. She provides all of these wonderful opportunities for my children, and she knows how to create truly meaningful memories that I'm sure will stick with them for the rest of their lives. But there was one instance where I happened to be in the car with Jeri, and we were driving down the road. We were driving to see a friend, and we were talking about a situation where we knew someone whose parents had just inherited a bunch of money. An old relative had died, distant relative had died. I was talking about how they were going to give some of the money to their kids who needed it, and but that it wouldn't cancel out all of their debt, it wouldn't take care of them fully. And Jeri said, "Well, I just don't understand why they don't just give them all the money that they need." That's who Jeri Baker is to me. She is a person who just gives and gives and gives to everybody around her, regardless of how much she's able to keep for herself. And that just exemplifies who she is as a person, who she always has been. She's always given to her family. She's always given to other people, given to the world, and I think that's what makes her a fantastic person.
Jeri, your lifetime of service most certainly embodies the intention of this award. For several decades, you have worked as a tireless advocate for children with special needs, and in your retirement, you have continued to serve the Lakota community of the Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota. We are particularly proud when we have an opportunity to celebrate Berea College alumni for their careers and lives of service. All of us at Berea College are charged
because he's comatose. So a choice between that or my contortionist of a daughter.
In the middle of the night, I find her feet up in my face.
I slept like a baby.
All by yourself.
All by myself. I couldn't have had a better night's sleep, really.
Yeah.
I find this unusual talking to my phone. However, this is my favorite Jeri moment from 2017. Rich and I had made the treehouse, and then Jeri came down to see it with the kids. The kids went up, and then Jeri said, "I want to go see it too." So Jeri goes up the ladder to see the treehouse. Now, my ladder is only 6 feet tall, so Jeri has to get to the very top of the ladder and stand on it before she can get into the treehouse, and that's what she does. When she gets to the top of the ladder, she sees that Seamus is dancing around the treehouse And even though he's behind the wooden bars, she's worried. So she says to him, "Seamus, stop doing that. You might fall off." And that's just typical of Jeri. Jeri, you always take such good care of the grandkids, and you are worried for them, even though, of course, yourself, we're in a very precarious situation at that very moment. So I really appreciate that about you, going everywhere and doing anything, sometimes on a moment's notice. But the real moments I miss and I had with Jeri this year was the fun moments, was sitting on the bus into New York with her all by myself, with no interruptions and no other things going on, and just having a chance to talk to Jeri. With as busy as everyone is all the time, it's just wonderful to have time to talk to Jeri. Merry Christmas, Jeri, and I hope we have many of those moments in 2018.
Hello! Merry Christmas and happy birthday, Jeri. I wanted to share a couple of my favorite memories with you. So first, I remember way back when we were at on some hike together as a family. I don't know if you remember this, and there was this awesome waterfall that just was so beautiful and magical, and so all of us were, of course, being kids, climbing up the waterfall and making our parents super scared. And next thing I know, I look down and you're getting ready to go charge up this waterfall, and my dad and Uncle Rich were "Jeri, no, don't go up the waterfall, we think you're falling." And you're no, I'll go up the waterfall. And they ended up persuading you not to go up the waterfall, which was probably the right decision. But I remember thinking wow, I want to be like that. I want to be the kind of person that charges up waterfalls because I can.
Today. So Jeri, we honor you and we welcome you now to share some reflections with us.
Cry, you'll be okay, right?
Yeah, we'll be good.
Only because it's very emotional for me to be back in my home. Anyway, God has made it one blood, all the people on the earth. As we know, that's been Berea's motto since 1855, and it is embodied in the lives of the students who carry it with them as they help people who have never heard of Berea, and they never heard of Berea. I first came here, and this is where the tears started first. But I first came here as a 15-year-old teenager. Both my parents had died. I was a frightened kid with no money who had never been outside of Appalachia. I was facing the world for the first time alone. I came to the foundation school as a senior. I was tested immediately so that they could place me into the appropriate classes. Well, when I'm watching them as they hand out textbooks, I notice that there are two different textbooks. One of the regular textbook and one maybe for lower level students. And I was scared that the testing was going to find me and my previous education lacking, and I would be given the low level books. In those days, as you all know, hillbillies were considered ignorant, and I certainly knew that. I didn't realize then that most of the students in Berea were hillbillies. I wanted to feel like I was in the right place for me, and I'll never forget how relieved I was when they handed me a regular textbook. Thank goodness.
Tell me about your grandma.
Well, one time when I was one, I was at my old house. I fell down the stairs, and Grandma was really surprised. She was screaming. She was scared that I got all hurt. I was all bummed up. Then she brought me to my bed because I was all hurted. Yeah.
Yeah. And what's one of the things you like about your grandma?
Well, she went to Kentucky, where we are right now, for college, and surely she learned lots of stuff about being a great grandmother.
A couple of memories of here. I remember my first English teacher here. Her name was Scribner. She told us, when you leave this school, you will take with you your beautiful mountain accent but you will use it to speak proper English. She was a determined woman, and she wanted us to be accepted anywhere in this world among any people. She not looked upon as ignorant or uneducated.
So one of my favorite memories is when Alicia, Abby, and I all went to New York with Jeri, and we met up with Uncle Rich, and I just love this memory because it really shows Jeri's personality. You know, New York is really overwhelming, and there's a ton of people and a million languages going on at a time, and you just walk through there and you're like, oh my God. And Jeri was just so confident and so calm, and she just knew where everything was, and it was really amazing. And she just wanted to show us this wider world and all these different cultures. You know, eat the Ukrainian food, eat the Indian food, and it was just and see this and see that, and I loved her love of culture. I loved her love of people, and I was really inspired by that time.
Oh, it was like when we went to France and saw the tower,
The Eiffel Tower?
Yeah, the Eiffel Tower. We went to the top. Well, it was super amazing. How would you like to do it?
A time that really stood out to me was when I went to Rome with her. It was really fun. We spent a lot of time together, a lot of restaurants, but we didn't we visited at the same pace. We both didn't like rushing and checking out every single monument in the city, and then at the end of the day just be like completely tired. No, we would take our time, you know, and if we were tired then we'd just go home. It wouldn't be, you know, a hassle about like, you know, oh, we must visit every single monument. Usually that's how my mother visits places, and it's not really my style. But we really got along well, and it was fantastic. Honestly, I mean, probably one of the best trips of my life. I love Rome. It's a great city, and, well, I do prefer my grandma.
My second memory here, though, is the care that was provided to me. When I was lonely and in tears, I knew I could go to my counselor. She hugged me, she sat and talked with me. She assured me that I was among people who cared for me, and that if I had needs, they would be met.
So one great memory I have with Jeri is earlier this fall, I was home alone for a whole weekend, so she was able to come over and hang out with me, and we got dinner, and it was lots of fun.
She and all the people here embodied the Berea motto, which is inclusive and accepting of all people and respectful of their differences. Berea's motto puts forth a belief that is often disrespected in our world. I thought about this motto often over the years after I graduated, and when I have found situations where people were not treated as equal under our laws and social norms, or where injustice was being done, my mountain heritage and the Berea teaching made it absolutely necessary that I not sit idly by, but that I take action.
We were walking around a lake, and me and you ended up walking together, and I think we had a conversation about the reservation out in Dakota, and it was the first time I think we talked about it for like that long, and it was just so cool to hear your heart for the people out there and for kind of the issues surrounding that. And I just remember being so enthralled by your stories and how you described the people and their culture, and I just really respected you so much after that. So it's another memory that sticks in my mind. So I love you, and I hope you have an awesome birthday and Christmas. I can't wait to see you soon. Tons of hugs and kisses. Mwah, mwah.
I spent 30 years as a state social worker in New York City, Connecticut, and Virginia. And during that time, I was absolutely horrified to find that children with emotional and mental disabilities were unable to receive the needed care and treatment while they were in their parents' custody, because the parents could not afford the very heavy cost, and the medical insurance didn't cover mental health issues. The state, however, was willing to provide all needed services for children who were placed in foster care. These children, the parents of these children, emotionally and mentally disabled, were forced to choose between keeping their children or giving them up to the state so they could get treatment. This obviously was not going to be acceptable to me. So we worked with the professors at the University of Richmond Law School to set up a legal clinic for these children and their families. The clinic represented the youth to ensure that they received appropriate education and treatment while parents retained custody. We also researched the laws and policies of other states, and we published our findings. And this research was presented to the state of Virginia, and ultimately, with the help of a lot of people, the laws and policies were changed.
So, when I think of Jeri, I often think of her as the anything woman, in that she will try anything and buy anything.
So a long time ago, I really wanted this American Girl doll, and it was a really pretty. She had my name, and so I was like, I really want her. And Jeri said, she goes, Rebecca, what do you want for Christmas? And I'm like, I want the Rebecca American Girl doll.
She will give anything and forgive anything.
Lots of great memories. I think, what I most appreciated this year was making biscuits. We always had, biscuits in the family, and I know it was, we typically did like Pillsbury Grands, but it was really fun to learn to make, traditional scratch biscuits, which comes from my mom's family, not my dad's family. And it was great to get closer to that part of the family and through my mom. And to do it while she was still here, and we could both kind of, kvetch about what recipe to use and how much butter to put in and how much baking soda and all that stuff. It was really actually a great experience.
Play anything, say anything, praise anything, encourage anything, let go anything, and endure anything. Now, while that description is not entirely true, because even Jeri has her limits, it is true that her tendency to be the anything woman has made our journey together as a family all the more smooth and fun and deep. So, love you, Jeri. Happy birthday.
I don't know if you can recognize where I am, but it's in Toulouse. I suppose you've guessed the memory I'm about to share with you. It's the one last year when you came to visit me in Toulouse, right here. And we went shopping, visiting, walking, biking all around the city for 2-3 days. And we exploded your footstep counter record. And finished the day off in a bar tapas restaurant, eating way too much food and going home in a taxi because we were all too tired to walk. I hope you've rested since, and I wish you a very, very happy birthday. I love you very much, Grandma. Many kisses. Oh, and great picture of you on the bike, by the way.
After I retired, I wanted to continue to help people, to serve. My daughter introduced me to a gentleman named Sun Eagle, who was a medicine man on the Mattaponi Reservation in Virginia. He was trying to establish a sponsorship program for the Lakota children on Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota. On a visit to that reservation, I learned for myself the extreme poverty conditions under which 40,000 Lakota Indians live. Families crammed into small 3-bedroom homes with as many as 10 to 20 members, huddled around an oven for warmth, kids going without food, grandparents who starve so that they can give bread to the kids, youth who commit suicide at a rate 5 times higher than anywhere else, 75% of teenagers who drop out of high school, and addictions that affect almost all families.
She's ending hunger on the South Dakota reservation, and I think that's really cool. It's the start of ending world hunger everywhere, basically. Something I'd like to do with her later on, has to be working on the One Spirits databases, because I am going to help with that.
This is the poorest place in this nation. Some of these conditions might remind you of the way things used to be here in Appalachia. But I saw this situation coming from Appalachia, and I could not sit idly by. I established One Spirit, the organization One Spirit, and I worked with Lakota people to develop ways for them to care for their own people. In the last 14 years, we've worked together to produce a food program that provides food to almost 5,000 people each month. We've employed the Lakota to cut and deliver wood to homes so warmth can come from afar. Afar. And I go back to my, I'm going home. We got a far going. They come from
I haven't seen each other for a long time, and we meet again. We make big pot of coffee, and we have a long, very long powwow, a big conversation about life, meaning of life, about family. When I see her and we have our coffee together again, it's like I'm coming home. But to be more specific, I have one thing, one memory that is very, very funny. It's in the mountains. The name is Saint-Martin-de-Vesubie. It's very cold during the winter. There is snow. Unfortunately for Jeri, there is no Wi-Fi connection. There is one place in the village where you have a connection. It's in the town square. So every night there were like few people, because it was very cold, that could see Jeri on the ground, sitting on the ground with a ski suit, and she was typing on a computer, and it was outside in the cold, in front of the tourist office, but it was closed. Obviously, it was because it was the evening, and so it was very curious, very odd show, very odd scene. But I think now everybody in Saint-Martin-de-Vesubie can remember this very special, very old memory of Jeri. And for me, it was a great moment to see her on the ground like that, in the cold. Nothing can...
And not from that. We built a youth center at a safe house. We're working with them to bring back buffalo herds. And we've just finished the construction on a facility to process buffalo meat. And we've sponsored for the youth, long distance running and lacrosse teams to help the youth find opportunity and hope. Excuse me. But on Pine Ridge Reservation, I found something else. I found 40,000 intelligent people who live with their beautiful culture and harbor wisdom that needs to be shared with the world, if the world will listen. This might also remind you of Appalachia. But God really has made of one blood all the peoples of this earth. You won't be surprised to know that with one spirit, we've found people all over the U.S. and Europe and other parts of the world who carry in their hearts the true meaning of the Berea motto. Thousands of donors, 150 volunteers have supported One Spirit programs without receiving anything in return. But we have been immensely compensated by the satisfaction of knowing that the Lakota people were respectfully being supported as they cared for themselves.
So, when my mom asked me to film myself and say something, you know, say an interesting story about my grandma, I thought it'd be rather easy, and you know, I'd get it done rather quickly and get it over with. I don't like filming myself. But I started thinking about it. Started trying to think about really a moment where my grandma stood out and made me proud or made me laugh. And honestly, I mean, it's difficult because she's always been consistently great, you know. She is literally the best person I know, and she's someone that I want to be like her when I grow up. Yeah, she's my one true role model. Yeah, somebody, I want to be something like that. At least somewhat like my grandmother.
I'm grateful to Berea College. The teaching's ingrained in me here, and all the students that come through your doors and learn in your classroom send out ripple effects. I have benefited. Children with mental and emotional disabilities have benefited. Lakota people have benefited from your love of and commitment to humanity. Multiply that times all the students who have been here.
That's a mighty impact. Thank you, Berea College.
Goes down, the stars come out, and all that counts is here and now. My universe will never be the same. I'm glad you came. Cast a spell on me. You hit me like the sky fell on me. And I decided you look well on me. So let's go somewhere no one else can see you and me. Turn the lights out now. Now I'll take you by the hand. Hand you another drink. Drink it if you can. Can you spend a little time? Time is slipping away from us, so stay with me. I can make you glad you came. The sun goes down, the stars come out, and all that counts is here and now. My universe will never be the same. I'm glad you came. I'm glad you came. The sun goes down, the stars come out, and all that counts is here and now. My universe will never be the same. I'm glad you came. I'm glad you came. Hand you another drink. Drink it if you can. Can you spend a little time? Time is slipping away from us, so stay with me. I can make you glad you came. The sun goes down, the stars come out, and all that counts is here and now. My universe will never be the same. I'm glad you came. I'm glad you came. The sun goes down, the stars come out, and all that counts is here and now. My universe will never be the same. I'm glad you came. I'm glad you came.